早く逃げましょう。
ならぬ。
お侍どころじゃないよ。このお方は猛虎を撃ち滅ぼすため冥府から蘇った伝説の武者クロード様さ。
説のクロード。
悪くないだろう。
Ghost of Tsushima has to be the best gaming experience I've probably ever had. Every time I grab my controller and see that blade on my screen, waiting to be held, I just feel my brain enter a different composition. It goes into gamer mode. Everything in this game makes you feel the power that you gain as you continue on your journey. Every little detail in this game is meant to just grab you and transport you into a different world. That's how good this game is. In every battle, your heart just starts beating at lightning speed, your eyes shifting in every corner of the screen, being aware of everything that's going on. This game is just a masterclass in everything a video game should be, in my opinion. Everything from the story to the gameplay to the mini games, side missions, everything in this game I would say is the best ever. But obviously that's a very biased opinion because I'm a weeb. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just a weeb. In this video, I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I love this game and all the reasons why I believe this game is probably the best game I'll ever get to play. But before that, we have a sponsor. Psych!
Young African American.
Thought we had a sponsor. I'm my own sponsor. And I'm here, to let you know that you should probably subscribe, Don't do it now. Wait till the end of the video, you know what I'm saying? If you would like to do so now, by all means, go right ahead. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you get me closer to that, I would personally, I don't even know what I'll give you, but I'll think of something. I usually hate being, view thirsty and forcing you guys to subscribe and all of that. But it'll really mean a lot if you guys did subscribe or at least like and comment on this video. I'm working on it during my vacation because I really like this video. I felt like this is going to be one of my best videos. So by all means, if you enjoy this video, please let me know because I'm working really hard on it. And I want to hear your guys' feedback. If there's something I could do better, by all means, let me know. Apart from that, follow the Twitter, the Instagram, and the new TikTok that I just opened if you would like to keep up to date on the videos and the channel. And maybe even me personally, I do a lot of art, so I might start posting my art and stuff. So yeah, if that sounds like something you're interested in, by all means, follow the social medias and keep up to date with that. I feel like I've been a view whore for too long now. Am I allowed to say that? Is YouTube gonna get mad at me for that? Whatever. Let's start the video. We follow Jin of the Sakai clan. When we meet him, his family and many others have gathered at the beach to welcome a foreboding enemy. Mongol forces have landed in search of a new territory to conquer, and these families are Tsushima's last line of defense. The fight is brutal and one-sided. You try and try, but it's never enough. And the further you go, the more you lose. Until suddenly, you lose it all. But you're the main character. You survive. Jin wakes up to his worst nightmare. His kingdom gone, his people scattered at best. His life changed. But Jin won't give up hope. Jin is sure this fire could be relit by the embers it left behind. Alongside him are other ghosts, heads of families, old friends, trying to cope with what happened that night. They join forces with Jin while furthering their own agenda. As the story goes on, you see Jin's ideals be challenged. You see him grow as a fighter and as a person. But most importantly, you see his legend be created. I won't say much more on this story because I truly believe this game has to be one of the best games ever and you should play it on your own. I'm not going to spoil much more just to entice you further to go get this game for yourself. If you heard that description for the story and you liked it and still interested, first of all, thank you. Damn, I put like 2 brain cells into that. That was like, I'm very proud of myself. Thank you for liking that. And 2, you should probably know what the gameplay is like so you know what the game is really about. So let's get to that. Ghost of Tsushima has to have one of the best gameplay mechanics ever. Well, mechanics isn't the word. I forgot what it's called. What I'm trying to say is the fighting in this game feels just like I would hope a real sword fight feels like. You're always aware as to what stance your opponents are in. You're always aware as to what kind of enemy you are fighting. You're always aware as to what stance you're in and what weapons you have at your disposal. It always just feels like everything in your head is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The sword fighting in this game is divided into multiple stances. All of these different kinds of stances help you with different kinds of enemies. Brutes are weak to moon stance. Spears are weak to wind stance. Shields are weak to water stance, and swords are weak to sword stance. Yeah, swords are weak to stone stance. Now you're not forced to change stance. By all means, you can keep the stance that you want to keep. In my experience, I made it headcanon that Jin uses the water stance because that was the stance he was trained on, even though, you know, it most likely was either wind because of the wind motif or stone because obviously sword fighting and whatnot. But to me, the water stance looked the coolest, so I, subjected Jin to only use the water stance. There is obviously a parry and dodge mechanic, and over time you do develop a perfect parry and perfect dodge, which would give you an advantage over your enemies. And switching from stance to stance is also just very easy. It's very seamless. You just hit one button and then the stance thingy comes up and you just pick which one you want. It's pretty simple. But holy shit, bro. These sword fights are probably the most intense moments of battle I've ever had in a video game. Having to deal with all these enemies at once with different affinities and having to adapt to it all, it genuinely feels like a simulation of that time period in Tsushima. It literally feels like you're out there with your sword kicking ass. Like, they did a really good job at encapsulating the feeling of a sword fight. Over time, you learn different abilities from ancient masters passed down onto you. And I gotta say, all of those abilities make your PP grow 3 times every time you do them. That's how good they feel. You also get access to things like kunai and paper bombs and smoke bombs, like any other samurai should have. These are more used to either divert attention or break guards, things like that. They're more to assist you in your sword fighting, but none of them really take the spotlight as the new weapon. You do gain different weapons such as bows and arrows. You get 2 bows, 1 short bow, 1 long bow. Short bow obviously is a quick draw, less damage. Big bow is long draw, more damage, standard. You can also customize and change your gear at any time with the use of flowers and materials that you can find around the world and by wiping out other kinds of enemies. And you could also hunt predators or any animal really and get predator hide to upgrade your bows and such. You know, it's pretty standard stuff. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am not educated enough in game design to tell you why this game works, but I'm going to try. I'm just letting you know that it won't be the best thing ever, and you truly just have to play this game for yourself to really understand what I'm saying. But yeah, my favorite part of this game has to be how it hooks you. I've been playing RPGs all my life. They're truly my favorite genre of video games. RPGs to me are the best kind of video games because they're the only video games that you could really immerse yourself, at least to me personally. Even then, RPGs really drop the ball sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Persona 5 as much as the next guy. Persona 5 is probably one of my favorite games ever. But holy shit, dog, that game kills my immersions every turn of battle. Like, it just kills my immersion. I can't picture myself in that scenario because having to go through all these menus and stuff, you know, it really just takes me out of it. And I never really noticed that because I never really paid attention to it. To me, menus never really felt like anything. In fact, I love Persona 5's menus because they're so different. It feels like, you know, such a Persona 5 type menu, you know, they all look very on brand. But after I played Ghost of Tsushima, I realized that no matter how cool a menu looks, it still ruins my immersion. Ghost of Tsushima taught me that having all these little markers around the world, having all these little health shits show up on my screen, like, it might not bother me, but it really ruins my immersion, you know? I'm not bothered by it, but I can't just sit there and believe I'm truly this character, you know? Like, all RPGs are supposed to have you think that way, you know? But all the menus really throw me off. But in Ghost of Tsushima, there's no mini-map, you know? The wind guides you as to where you have to go, which is an amazing idea. I can't believe, oh man, not having to look at a mini-map and follow an imaginary, like, line or arrows. It doesn't sound like something important, and it probably isn't, but that little detail to me just immerses me even more. It's that extra step I enjoy. And it doesn't end at just that. Jin's healing isn't through items. Jin's healing is through resolve. The more sword fights you get into, the more, you know, parrying or dodges or attacks you land, the more resolve Jin gets, and the more you could heal. To me, that's very immersive because it feels as though like Jin's willingness to keep on fighting for his land is what's keeping him going, which in turn makes me feel like it's me fighting for my land that's keeping me going, which in turn makes me feel like Jin. It's a perfect feedback loop. Now, obviously, this game isn't the most realistic, you know? Like, you could slice somebody 37 times and they might still walk. You could get shot by an arrow and you could still walk, you know? I'm not saying that this is like the next realistic fighter or whatever, but what I'm saying is that this game really does take you from a regular old day into that time period in Tsushima. Another thing I adore about this game is that in this game you don't level up. Well, you do, but it's kind of cool. Let me explain. See, in this game, you don't see a number go up, you know? You don't see like you're level 37, for example, like in Pokemon or in any other RPG. Instead, in this game, the more Mongols you kill, the more settlements that you free, the more people you help, the more your legend grows. So it becomes a chase for a new title instead of a chase for a new number, you know? I see myself so many times in an RPG getting hungry for those levels because I want a new level, you know? I want to see that level go up. I need my daily fix, you know? Or it's enticing because I'll get a new move from it, you know? Maybe I'll learn Flame Wheel at level 35, you know? Some shit like that. But in this game, it feels a lot more personal. You see Jin go through so much, and you see his whole life come down and topple before his eyes, that when you see his ranking go up and you see his name change from a lone traveler to the Ghost of Tsushima, that to me feels a lot more powerful than just being a level 100 at the end of my journey. It truly does feel like I just went through this entire story being me. Like, my journey grew, my legend was known, you know? And that's something not many games could do. That's something that you don't see every day. A game that really truly fully immerses you. Then again, it might just be me, you know? Learning new abilities from ancient masters or fellow friends around the world. That's how people get stronger. And I'm really glad that that's how you get new moves in this game instead of leveling up and, you know, just getting a random move being taught to you by the gods, you know. Instead, you have to go out to bumfuck nowhere, Newark or some shit, and then you find Master Ito, and Master Ito teaches you the art of the blade. Like, real life, you know? Like, I don't just fucking turn 25 and learn how to fucking slice and dice for no reason. I don't know. I just feel like this game does a really good job at taking really small things and changing them. And to me, that's where the beauty lies, the small little details. It's something that not many games really think about. Most games just put flashy things on the screen and a tragic story, and, you know, that works from time to time. Well, most of the time, to be honest with you. But seeing a game give you the pretty colors, the amazing gameplay, and the tiny little details to make your experience that much more believable, to me, that's what takes this game from a standard adventure RPG game into the next level of gaming. I'm not even sure if any of that made sense, but with that, we're gonna go on to the map. The island of Tsushima is one of the most beautiful maps I think I've ever seen in any video game. It's just full of color at every turn. There's a field full of red roses. There's another full of yellow roses, and a bunch of hills full of white flowers. It's just a bunch of flowers everywhere. Since Ghost of Tsushima doesn't, you know, there's no cars, there's no nothing, and there is fast travel, but you have to liberate villages to fast travel. You usually are on horseback. You usually are traveling the world and seeing it for yourself. And the map complements that kind of gameplay beautifully. At any point, you can find a Mongol patrol and wipe them out as you wonder why the fuck this earth is so fucking beautiful. Now, like I said, I'm on vacation as of right now, and the only footage I have is the footage I managed to get before I took my flight. So I might not have all the footage of all the beautiful locales, but I know for a fact I have some very good footage of, you know, aesthetically pleasing views. And just look at this for yourself. This is gorgeous. There's also a shit ton of things to do in Tsushima. There's this little mini game where you could just cut bamboo and that boosts one of your attributes. I forgot which one. I don't know if it's obvious, but I didn't do that one much. There's also little shrines that you could follow foxes into, and by offering your gratitude or your blessings to the shrine, you get new charm slots. And charms are basically things you could put on your weapons or on your person to boost either your health, your strength, your speed, things like that. And of course, there's a shit ton of Mongols everywhere, and it's your job to kill them all. So, yeah, there's always something to do while riding in Tsushima. I never felt bored while wandering around the island or going to a mission. It always felt eventful. Either I found a shrine or a new mini game or found a side mission that I was interested in. There's always something to do. Speaking of the side missions, that's also another thing that's beautifully done, in my opinion, in this game. Each mission is just so beautifully handled. Since this game is so personal and it feels like it's really your journey, seeing a lady in distress or a man begging you to save his family, it's very hard to say no. And the way this game presents you with side missions, I think, is amazing. It's not like most RPGs where they make it very obvious how, you know, you don't need to do this. Don't worry about this. In Ghost of Tsushima, the way they approach you, begging you, please do this, or maybe it's somebody's dying wish. Like, you can't say no to that. How the fuck can you say no to that? You imagine that some poor old soul, she come up to you, she like, please go to that, please come to that village. Mama, grandbaby, she dying. And you like, nah, bitch, fuck you. You imagine that shit? Hell no. There's just always something to do, and it's just beautiful to be around Tsushima. I would give my all to just be able to ride my horse and be able to see that, you know, that scenery, that beautiful area of our lovely earth. You know, the only downside is those like Mongols are thirsty for blood, but like, you know what I'm saying, like beautiful vistas, Mongols, they kind of trade each other, you know what I'm saying. There is so much more to talk about this game, but one, I'm in vacation and I'm recording this on my iPhone. I don't really even know how I'm gonna edit this, but I'll figure it out. And like I said earlier, I want you to play this game for yourself. Sadly, it's a PlayStation exclusive. If you don't have a PlayStation, I gotta say, I would probably buy a whole PlayStation just to play this game. I'm not even gonna lie, but that's just me. I'm not gonna tell you how to use your money, because if I do, you'll probably get very mad at me because I have very bad spending habits. But if you have a PlayStation and you have $60 or $70 that you could get, I even think it's free for PS Plus. Don't quote me on that. I believe it was at some point. But if you can get this game or rent it or just like try it out, please do yourself a favor and do that. This game is what I want future games to take inspiration from. I don't want more Ghost of Tsushimas, but I want games inspired by it. Everything this game does, I believe, is the future of gaming. I believe this game, I don't know what else to say other than that this is the perfect game in my opinion. I haven't played any other game as good as this. Any other game. And I've played a lot of games. I do not have a life. And every game just feels subpar. Now, don't think I'm saying this because this is my favorite game ever or whatever. Although this game is super good, I wouldn't consider it my favorite game ever. It's probably up there, but you know, I wouldn't consider it my favorite game ever yet. Maybe when I finish it, it might become my favorite game ever. So I am biased, but I'm not too biased, you know? I truly do think this is the future of gaming, and I truly do hope more games like this come out, because if that's the case, we're in for an amazing era of gaming. But with all that said, I'm gonna end this video here. I'm recording this on my iPhone. I am so sorry if the audio is horrible. I can't even hear my audio. I kind of just like spoke into my phone and hoped to God nothing sounded bad. It better sound good. This phone was very fucking expensive, and if it sound bad, we're gonna have some issues. The Apple store won't hear from me, I assure you of that. But yeah, I delayed this video. I really wanted to do it justice. I still think I didn't do it justice. To do this game justice, I'll have to do an hour video on this, but sadly I don't have the time, nor do I have the resources right now because I'm in a whole different country. But yeah, please like, please sub, share this video, spread the word. I have a new TikTok that I just created. I almost said open up like it was a fucking store or something. I also have a Twitter. I don't know how to use Twitter. I'm planning on starting using it soon. If you guys like using Twitter and you could like retweet, or I don't know if retweeting, how that works. I imagine retweeting is just like you tweeting something again. I don't know, man. But send me shit that is cool and funny, and I'll reply to you and what have you. And we'll figure out, you know, if I know how to use Twitter or not. We'll learn. Again, thank you all for watching. Your time really do means a lot. And I'm sorry if this video is kind of wonky and stuff, you know. Circumstances aren't ideal. But yeah, go play this game. Go get yourself some rolled ice cream. You deserve that shit, bro. Rolled ice cream is the way to go. And yeah, take it easy and have a good one. Peace.